Welcome to the Tommy Sandhu podcast, chatting today to Harshdeep Kaur. Harshdeep is a singer. She's a lyricist. But on top of that, I've known her for about 10 years. She performed at a Mela in the UK. I'll never forget it. And I thought, wow, this lady's really good. And then I heard Heed, and I just loved Heed. And then it just progressed, and I interviewed her for other things. And we've just got on really well. She's recently become a mum, and she's going to tell us all about her life and her journey so far. She is wonderful, she is spiritual, and she's awesome. She's here for you right now on the Tommy Sandhu podcast. It's Harshdeep Kaur. Ta-da! Harshdeep Kaur! Oh my God! What's up, ji? Kidda? You alright?
Sandhu saab, tusi kidda?
I know, yeah, see, I have to go straight. I don't know what it is with you. I don't feel like I have to go, Sasi Kal Harshdeep, how are you? I go, I feel a bit, hey, it's Harshdeep. It's like the very few people I feel like, you're mine, you're my sister. You're on my podcast now. Yeah.
And I love you.
Hey, congratulations, first of all. How is the boy wonder, little Hunnar? How is he?
He's doing very well, and he's becoming naughtier day by day.
What is he now? How old is he now?
He's 7 months now, 7.5 months.
Mad, isn't it? Have you been all right? Because, it's a complete change for you. Now you've got to be a pop star and a mum.
And a mom star. Yes, it's been a crazy ride, but I'm enjoying each and every moment. It is very difficult, but I'm lucky that I have my family support, and we somehow are able to manage it well. And thanks to the lockdown also, I'm getting to spend more and more time with him. So yeah, it's a blessing in disguise.
You planned it perfectly. You're like, I know,
Perfect.
Right? I'll have a child. The whole world will go into lockdown. No one's really performing. You get to bond with the baby. And now when the baby's a bit older, lockdowns end. God, who are you connected to, Harshdeep Kaur? What kind of operation level are you on? That's some CIA, MI5, Russian spy business there.
I think I'm just lucky.
No, it's good on you. But then I know because you're a positive person and all that. I think if you do things from the heart, things like this just kind of work out. Things like that.
Yes.
And it's nice. It does. And I'm sorry, I've got to get the kind of formalities out of the way. How's hubby as well? How's Rick? Is he all right?
He's doing great too. He's doing all the daddy duties beautifully, and everything is great.
Because obviously I know he's involved in your career, and now here you are, you're a real unit, you two. You come to and now he's involved in baby. You're going to be on stage. I mean, I know with me and my wife, it's hard. It's hard to communicate, coordinate your own adult lives, let alone when there's a baby involved. But you both had to adjust.
Yes, there's so much to learn. Like Hunar has taught us a lot of patience. Like earlier, we weren't so patient about stuff, and now we're like, okay, it'll happen. Okay, calm down. So he has made us very patient, and he's taught us perseverance, how to keep doing one thing on and on until you succeed. So he has completely changed us.
Wow, look at that. Even as a vocalist, all that training you've done, and yet the biggest lessons you're learning is from right now, a 7-month-old baby.
Yes. And the most beautiful thing that I've learned from Hunar is that we've started appreciating the smaller things in life. Like earlier, we just used to wait for big achievements. Okay, if I achieve this, I'll be happy. If I get this award, I'll be happy. If I get this song, I'll be happy. But now we're enjoying each and every second. If he looks at me and smiles, that gives you so much happiness. If he's enjoying a particular food, I enjoy that also. His every small move, he's taught us how to be happy with the smaller things in life.
So 7 months, I'm trying to remember back now because my boys are now 9 and 4. But is he doing any babbling? Any that is noises? What's he doing at the moment? What does he do?
Yes, he's a pretty active baby and a very social baby, despite being a lockdown baby, a pandemic baby.
Yeah.
But despite that, he's very social, and he understands things very quickly. And sometimes I'm surprised how is he understanding all these things. Like I tell him to Hunar, clap your hands, and he'll be suddenly clapping his hands.
Oh wow!
So yes, I'll send you the video privately. You'll see how smart he is.
Yeah,
so I'm a very proud mama. I think he's very smart, and he babbles a lot, but he still hasn't started saying mama. He keeps saying papa, 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 papa. So
Oh,
Papa's boy, I guess.
oh, he's gone that way. Look at that. That's because Ricky takes him away and kind of goes, right, papa, 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 papa. He
Yeah.
just kind of repeats
I,
it.
I think he does that when I'm sleeping.
Yeah. But I love the fact that he can do Gidda already. Like, he can, like, of all the things that your child would do, of course he can clap. Is he in time, Harshdeep? Has he got rhythm?
Yes, I've tested that as well. Like I
Good.
tell him to bang on the table like 3 times, and he does it only 3 times. If I do it
Oh,
only 2 times, he does it only 2 times. So yeah, but
I
too
love
much
it.
expectations from a
Yeah.
little baby.
No, but because I do see it. It's funny because my sons sometimes have certain characteristics which are just like their baba, my dad. Just
Yes.
silly little things, their food habits, their eating habits, and you go, oh my God, you can't teach that. So I'm not surprised that your son can clap and bangs the table and has got rhythm and timing. And you know what's so nice is you've really taken it in. Well, it feels like you see it on social media, but you've taken it in your stride. You seem to still be enjoying the rest of your life. Was there ever a point where you thought, hang on a minute, I can't do both. I can't be a mom, who's a star to the public and try and be a star to this one person who just wants you for them. He doesn't know that he's got to share his mum.
See, that's a very beautiful question, actually. In front of the public, you need to be perfect, right? You need to look good. You always have to present your best self to the audience, to the
Mm,
social media, people following you. You always have this thing in your mind that you have to give your best. But when you're in front of your baby, you can, look like shit, and he would still, look at you like you're the queen of the world, and
yeah,
that's the only difference. Like for him, he would love me, if even if I'm wearing makeup or no makeup, if I'm looking good or not, if I sing well or I don't sing well, my voice would be like the sweetest voice for him in the whole world. So yeah,
yeah.
that's the contrast. But yes, sometimes I do feel okay now. This is not like um a one time thing. This is now going on for life, and every day we're learning so many new things. But it's become so beautiful. Everything is so beautiful. Like earlier, we used to wake up so late in the morning, but now he wakes me up at 7 in the morning. We have the cutest alarm clock in the house now, and yeah, he's made us more punctual, and we can do so many things in one day, which
It
we never
sounds
used to
like
do earlier.
yeah, but it just sounds like you've recruited a new PA. Great, like a personal trainer. He's got us up in the morning. We're going for runs. We're doing yoga. We've changed our diet. It's like but it's incredible. It had one little dynamic, this tiny little person. And the one thing I always think is
Yes.
quite amazing when you think about kids in this respect is you've only known this person 7 months, and yet
Yes.
he's everything. Like you
He's
meet people all the
taken
time.
away everything, all the
Yeah.
attention, all the love.
It's great. And what about you balancing that? Is the balance okay, or have you been just? I know lockdowns help that, but have you purposely stepped back a little bit? Are you going to go, no, I don't want to do those other projects kind of thing?
Actually, not at all. He's already taken 6 to 7 flights. He's traveled with me for shows and concerts. So yeah, he started doing that. And so it didn't feel like my life has changed, because I am doing a lot of recordings. And because of the lockdown, there were a lot of recordings happening from home. So yeah, I have a setup in my music room. I record from home. So when he's sleeping, I quickly come to the room and record my song. And we've been traveling together, and he's quite enjoying the aeroplane travel and the airport travels. I think he's enjoying it. So
Good.
whenever we take him to a new hotel, I would be like, okay, that's the sweet life of Hunar Singh. So
Yeah,
we're enjoying that experience a lot. We're very careful though, because of the virus.
of course.
Our doctors told us to be careful, but yeah, we all are vaccinated, so we have a little peace of mind, and we're very cautious with him around. But we're enjoying the journey.
But you realize also, I think, how robust, how strong, how amazing in that respect kids are. With it, they adapt,
Yes.
like you say, with the travel, with this, with that, and if he's used to it from an early age, that's the way it's going to kind of be now, which is nice. So hold a minute. So you're recording from home. So if we listen really carefully to some of your vocals, will we hear like in the background or something like that. Look, you can just hear it. Or have you recorded any of him? Have you recorded any of his sounds and anything like that?
That's why I have a dynamic mic, so it records only my voice.
Okay, good. We don't need anybody else. And any changes to your vocals, anything like that? Since because obviously, I didn't think of my wife. My wife, physically, she felt very different. The giving birth is a huge process to the body. Look at you shaking your head. Don't even get me started, Tommy.
Yeah. My memories goes back to the delivery room. So
hey. Well, I don't need details because I don't because I'm a boy and I'm not very good with details. But was it okay as a process of childbirth?
Yeah. It is, I think, one of the most it's the toughest but most beautiful experiences. The moment you see the baby, you forget all the pain.
Yeah.
And you just focus on the baby, and then everybody forgets about whatever hardship you went through. But it was beautiful.
But, you've always been quite spiritual and religious and into faith and energy and good vibes. There's a calmness about you which is lovely, and I've always said that. How does this heighten it? Because I know it's so cheesy, and I don't want to sound like a cheesy dad. Everyone goes, "Hey man, you'll never understand the love that you have for your child when your child." Everyone goes on about it, and you sound like oh yeah, whatever. When you haven't got kids, and I don't want to sound like that, but it must, as an artist, come on, that must have affected you, your writing, your singing, your performance.
There's a word in Hindi called Thehrav. It means that I'm more calm also while I'm singing. So I'm less jittery. And there's a certain calmness in my voice, which I have personally felt. And yes, I've become more emotional. Like there's a song by Shankar Mahadevan in the film Tare Zameen Par. The song is called Ma.
Yeah.
Earlier, I just used to listen to the song, and nice song and beautifully written. But there was this time I was just holding a Hunar in my hands, and Mankeet just played that song, and I started crying because I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't a mother before, so I couldn't actually relate to those words. But because he was in my arms and I could relate the words to my own baby, I started crying, and I didn't know why was I crying. So this feeling, I think this is something new that I've experienced, which I had never experienced before. I've become too emotional.
You've touched upon a song which is really close to me. And again, my mum lives around the corner, but when I hear that song, I'm like, I've got to hold it together, and I'll pick up the phone and go, just ringing mum to see how you are. But it's that line of "Tenu sab hai pata, meri maa," and I'm like, because your mum does know. Your mum will just look at you and go, "Kia," and you're like, nothing, just, of course, yeah, like she'll just know, and you go, oh, yeah, and it might just be work or whatever, but mum knows, it's a beautiful magical bond. But I just know that as an emotional singer, you put so much emotion into your singing and your lyrics that I just knew that would heighten it. I suppose it must add another level, another depth to everything.
So that's a big change in me.
But
start crying now, after listening to such songs.
yeah, you big softy. Come on, get it together, woman. What's wrong with you?
Chalo ji. Next question.
What's going on? What's happening with the future then? What we got to look forward to now? What excites you work-wise?
Well, even after Hunar was born, I recorded a song. In fact, the artist is from UK, Azu, and the song is called Jannat, which did pretty well. So that's one song I recorded immediately after Hunar was born. I think he was just 16 or 18 days old when I recorded that song. And then there were a lot of collaborations happening. Like I did a show called MTV Unwind with Rochak Kohli. So we recreated Dil Baro, and we gave a new touch to the folk song Madaniya, and a lot of more songs coming up. And there's this album called Bhumi, which is produced by Salim and Suleiman. So I've sung a song in that album too, and that will be releasing in December. And that song is about Jallianwala Bagh. So a lot of interesting stuff happening.
Can I just ask, an author on recently, Satnam Sanghera, who has done documentary in this country, his Cambridge on Jallianwala Bagh and everything that happened there. But he's done it very diplomatically because it's very easy to make it like, this is what the British did. Empire is bad. Yeah. He's kind of done it perfectly. And now he's got a book out called Empire Land, and he talks about the effect of Britain in India and around the world. Is that something that's on your mind? Do you see that? Do you see that how Britain has affected India? Is that because you said that you're doing a Jallianwala Bagh song? You know, does it still get to your heart? I suppose what the Brits did or supposedly did back in the day.
Of course it did, because the people who died during those days, or if we talk about this incident in particular, they didn't have anything to do with the politics or whatever was happening in the country. So they were, they call them Bekasur, and they were innocent people. They didn't deserve to die. So of course it was wrong, and somehow it boils your blood when you talk about or when you read about such stuff. You can't be diplomatic about it. If something is wrong, it is wrong. Whether it's an Indian who does wrong or a Britisher who does wrong. If something is not right, it is not right.
Okay, I'm going to ask you because, sorry, and I'm talking to you again as a friend here. So, is it not healthy for us to keep going over history? Because you're right, something wrong did happen, but by bringing it up, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the kind of spiritual side of it. Just going over it, just re-heighten negativity, or are we supposed to take some positive and learn from it?
Actually, the newer generation is much more open to such thoughts. Like even now, there are a lot of fights that happen, between people from two different religions, and there are people who spark it even more. So we should have that sensibility that we shouldn't fight over caste or a religion. We all are equals. Whatever people have done to us in the past is gone. So now we, as a new generation, should work towards love and kindness and more collaborations. Like we as an artist, we can collaborate with different musicians and spread the message of peace. So yes, in a way, we should be forgetting what happened in the past. We can't keep dwelling on that. So yes, I think the newer generation is more open to it. Maybe our grandparents, our parents, they still are, because they were there. They saw that time. For example, the 1984 Sikh riots, the Sikh killings. They still have that fresh in their mind. So for them, it's not easy to forgive people who are behind that. But for our generation, what we can do is that we can work towards a happier, a peaceful world. So we can't blame them also.
No, I agree. Like I said, and people look at artists, people look at yourselves to kind of give them inspiration. But you got to be clear in your head about it all. I'm not. I'm still I'm 44 years old. I'm working it all out, Harshdeep. I don't know. My diet's all over the place. My sleep's all over the place. My kids are all over the place. It's like, but you seem solid. You seem there's this like
you should ask Ricky if I'm calm or something.
But where do you get that
true answer?
Where do you get that from? Where do you get that clarity from, or that strength of clarity from?
I think that clarity comes from being grateful. I have a lot of gratitude for this beautiful life, and things happen around me that keep reminding me that don't forget to be grateful for what you have. There are people who are less fortunate, and they want to be where you are today. So I think this is one thing that keeps coming to my mind, and that's why I'm very grateful. So someone said that there was a singer who was so blessed with a beautiful voice, and she started being very proud of herself, and she became very arrogant, and one day she was detected with a throat cancer. So I don't know if it's a true story or not, but somebody told me about this story. So then I just had a thought in my mind that this is a gift that God has given to me, and He can take it away anytime, because this is something you're blessed with. So you need to nurture it and be grateful for it, rather than becoming arrogant about it, or thinking, okay, I can do anything. You need to be humble. You need to be grounded. So I think all these things, they reflect in your attitude.
Okay.
And
can I play
how your
devil's advocate?
attitude is, it reflects in your voice. It's like a circle.
Let me play devil's advocate there for a minute, because you're absolutely right. Humbleness, we all know, wonderful.
Yeah.
To stop, take a step back from things, but also we also hear on social media or through books or life that actually, no, get involved, get in it, be aggressive, push for it. If you don't make things happen,
Yeah.
things won't happen. And also your kind of work is pacey, it's traveling, it's making deals happen. Ricky's involved, da, da, da. So I don't know how the two go hand in hand. I'm here in Dubai now for a month. I got cricket, we got radio, we got podcasts, we got live shows. I don't know which. It's like I'm two different guys, and I'm sure you must be the same, or feel that you could easily go down different lanes in this journey of it all.
I think that's easy for me because I'm the same person everywhere. If you see me, at a live concert or you see me at a recording, you won't see a different person. And as opposed to as you see me at home with my baby or with my family, I'm exactly the same. So I don't have to, be someone, somewhere. So I don't have to act. So I think that's why it's easy for me. And if you talk about the technical things, I've given all the responsibility to Ricky, and I just concentrate on the music. So I think that's one thing that keeps me sane because I don't worry about the business part of my music. And the most important part is that I love my job. I love being a performer. I love being a singer, and I love being busy in what I love. Too much love. I've just said in one sentence. Because I love my job, it doesn't feel like a task.
Yeah.
I know people who are stuck in jobs they don't like. They hate going to office every day. I think it's a matter of you know difficulty for them. But I enjoy my job, so I think that's why I don't feel the change. I'm
But
still calm in the storm.
you would never work a job. I don't imagine you're that kind of person. I think that would be like, clipping a bird's wings or whatever. That never. It would be though, wouldn't it? Because you are, and singers particularly, and particularly a singer like you, it's all from the heart. It has to be.
Yes.
So what? Just it's a slippery kind of life path. Anything could have gone either way. If you weren't singing, what could the parallel other Harshdeep Kaur be doing right now? The one that didn't go down the singing path. What did it nearly become?
Actually, I haven't thought about it much. But if you do need an answer, maybe I would have been a veterinary doctor because I love dogs and cats. So maybe music therapy to these animals.
singing to the dogs as well.
Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. That's
Oh,
Hunar's
wow.
lullaby.
Wow, I'll be honest. It sounds great coming from you, but I think we're lucky that you turned into the singer that you are now. That's nice. And actually, on that note, we talk about things working out for the right reasons. If you don't mind me saying, female artist in this kind of male-dominated industry, how and we're going to big him up even though he's not here. But how kind of lucky, fortunate is it that you've got someone like Ricky who understands? Because there must be many people, men and women, who have an other half who doesn't get their game. And it is a game. This is a weird game of a world that we're in.
Yes, I'm really very fortunate because he used to stay in Delhi and we were having a discussion, what are we going to do? Because all my work was in Mumbai. So he said, okay, my work that I'm doing, it can be done from Bombay also. So I'll shift base from Delhi to Mumbai. So he shifted with his parents to Mumbai and we all live here together. So yeah, that was the first step that, kind of...
and I'm sorry, Harshdeep, sorry to interrupt, because I have to say, I'll forget. But look at that. The daughter in this family has moved the mum and dad to another shed. I mean, that's, again, we're from the same
country.
Right, exactly. But was that a factor or was it never a factor?
It was never a factor. Mankeet has 4 sisters, so he definitely understands what daughters go through and how important their dreams also are. And because he knew me since childhood, he has always seen me on stage, since we were in the class 1. So he knew that, it has been a very difficult journey. And gradually he also started supporting me. Now he also takes care of my work and he seems to be having a lot of fun and he's adding his own expertise to my work and he's helping me grow. He wants to see me, do even better in my career. And I'm lucky to have him as my life partner.
Of course. That's this.
Mere nyane da papa.
Oh yeah, exactly.
How do you say it in Punjabi?
Pure. my mum was tera pio thea.
Tera
Tera pio no la
pio.
kya. Yeah, mere गाने दा प्यो
ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਸ਼ੈਤਾਨੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਪਾਪੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਣਾ
yeah देखी
I'm gonna
see
do that.
देखी see that's what mum say my mum I was saying my mum turns into a ventriloquist where she can tell me off without moving her mouth तू है ना तू देखी see जरा तेरा प्यो हो गया I'm like wow mum you should have a puppet you should have a puppet on your on your lap just doing the voice there.
Yeah, the teeth grinding.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, then, kind of because this was in my mind, because you saying like you've known Ricky for all this time, and now with the baby, and now with lockdown, how much of this whole zindagi is in our control, and how much of it is predetermined? Harshdeep Kaur, do you feel like it's all just, are we just playing our part? Do we have any influence over it, or is it all meant to be?
Yes, it is meant to be, but you need to do your work. It's not that, you don't have to work towards a certain thing. Like if I want an album out, I'll have to work on the songs. I'll have to do my hard work and I have to give my 100%. Then only Destiny can help you. Like Destiny would say, okay, you haven't even recorded the song. How will I help you make it a big hit? So you have to do your work and then, leave it to the rest to happen, with God's blessing, but you need to do your part. That's very important. And as you said, yes, nowadays people are getting very aggressive, especially on the social media. People are following trends and, but I feel that you shouldn't be so aggressive. This is my opinion. You should do what you are best at. You just can't keep following the trends. You should, start trends instead of following them.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge rat race out there. If you start following others, then you won't be able to showcase your own creativity. So it's okay to be in touch with your followers. I think that's my main reason to be on social media, so that I can read my fans' reviews, how they feel about my music and what my music makes them feel, and to be connected to them. I enjoy that. But you can't just keep pleasing everybody just to gain the number of your followers, or because there's no end to that. If you have 10 million, you'll be like 20 million ho jaye, then you'll be like 30 hone chahiye, because that's the greed. There's no end to that. So you need to be happy with it. And social media, everybody's happy. By the way.
Who do you follow? Who do you follow on social media that you enjoy looking at their posts and what they're saying? Who's a cool...
I follow a lot of people.
Who's inspirational to you?
Honestly, I follow a lot of comedians because their content makes me crack. And when you go on social media, there are a lot of depressing news. So that's why I follow a lot of comedians who put up a lot of jokes and satires. So I enjoy watching their content. I follow you also.
Thanks, Harshdeep. Yeah, exactly. Mine's the silly stuff. And again, like you, it's just me. I like to put up the things like just me and the kids doing funny stuff, or kids doing silly stuff.
Or something to do with Pronte also. I've seen that stuff.
All right, it's not all just food. I love it. Yeah, it's always food. Yeah, actually, mainly is always food. And what about music? Well, who are you listening to other than your own stuff? Who's on the playlist right now? Who's enjoyable, or who's
I think a lot of
they're making good stuff.
A lot of Punjabi music is again. I think Punjabi music has brought independent music scene back, and a lot of new artists I'm listening to, especially from Punjab. Also, there's this composer called Gurmo. He makes a lot of good music. Ahen, I think his name, is a good writer. Jani is a good writer. So a lot of people in Punjab, they're doing great stuff. And
why is it great? I want to just know, what do you hear in the music?
Because I think they're very rooted. Somehow they're bringing back very rooted music back. It's not, there was this time you could hear only about cars and girls in Punjabi songs, but now it's going back to the roots and the meaningful songs coming up. Satinder Sartaaj, he's a great artist, and a lot of Bollywood music is also. I think very few Bollywood songs actually are now winning hearts, but Punjabi music is doing great everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, is that just a timing thing? Like you say, is it because it's a return to traditionalness? Because even when it was the hip hop scene, and Punjabis were dominant hip hop. I work with a stand-up comedian, Anuvab, who jokes about, he goes, every Punjabi guy in Punjab is a rapper now. You know, they all got the coats and the cars and the look, and they're all a bit hip
Yeah.
hop. They could be straight out of New York or LA or whatever. But now you're saying that, I'm about to host a concert here in Dubai in a couple of weeks' time, which is with Gary Sandhu, Ammi Verk, Mannat Noor. You know, it's all those guys, but it's more traditional. It's not. They're not your
Yeah.
hip hop guys.
Yeah.
So what's
Diljit Paji is doing great. He's releasing some great stuff. Diljit Dosanjh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's his stuff. He's not following a trend, is he?
Yes. Yes.
And as I think we're establishing, that's where you are as an artist. You're doing your thing, and I think you can only become a trendsetter when you're not following someone else, and you're doing your thing. So
Exactly.
the next your thing, the next your sound. Was this podcast a way of you saying, "Hey, Gurmog, we're going to work together"? Is that what's going to happen, or these other lyricists?
I've already worked with him a lot,
Right.
and that's why I know him very closely. Like, I like his music, and yes, a lot of stuff that I am working on. Maybe I'll compose more songs. Like last year, I did a song called "Pyar Milya," so maybe this year something else pops up from my heart, my brain. Now that I have Hunar, I'll have to explore more sides of me and
Yeah.
release something, and more Gurbani stuff also.
Nice.
So now I've been really busy with Hunar, but now he has a schedule now, so I can work on more spiritual stuff. I get a lot of emails that, you've sung Japji Saab, Chopai Saab. People want to listen to more Banis in my voice, so I want to do that. That's not easy, because you have to be perfect when you do that, especially when it comes to the pronunciation. But there's so much respect for our Gurbani. I can't make mistakes there. So that's one project that is on the timeline.
And just a final thing, because you've touched on it. Here in Dubai, I can hear the azan, the call to prayer here. I hear obviously my own Sikh spiritual Gurbani hymns as well. Even church sounds, gospel sounds,
Wow.
certain hymns. There's something about it, isn't it? And maybe it might be a sign I'm getting older, but there's something about that religious sound that, when sound, music, lyrics, you want to touch people's heart. But there's something about religious music across the board that hits you. What is that, Harshdeep? What is that?
I think there's so much chaos around us, and physically, mentally, there's so much happening socially, emotionally. But when you listen to religious music, it kind of takes you in a different world for that period of time when you're listening to that music. So it gives you that peace of mind. So I think that's one reason. It doesn't matter if you're old or young. I think even younger people listen to Gurbani or spiritual music. It calms them down. So that is very important to find your solitude in this chaos. That's why people like soulful music or devotional music.
Counselor. That's what you would have been.
Yeah,
I think you would have been a counselor. I think if you were a singer, I feel like I'm having a spiritual session here. Like, hey man, this is what you need. Yeah, you need like incense sticks all around you, and you'd be like all kind of beads and magic stones and stuff. And I can see you being one of those kind of fortune teller type women now. All of a sudden,
that's a very nice compliment.
I can feel it. I can feel the energy, Harshdeep Kaur. Listen, always great catching up with you. This is not going to be the first time you're on the Tommy Sandhu podcast. You'll be on again. I just want to, if it's okay, I just want to keep checking in with you every now and then to make sure you and Hunar and Rick and the gang are all doing well. Is that okay?
Yes, anytime. You're like family.
Done. Thank you for making some time for us.
Good luck with everything. Thank you so much.
What are you doing now? Where do you go now? What do you do right now? Where are you going?
Well, I'm traveling now. I think next week I have a gig in Chandigarh. So yeah, lots of gigs are now opening. We recently did a virtual concert with Shankar Mahadevan. And so yeah, a lot of gigs are happening now.
Virtual concerts are not the same. I've done virtual stand-up, virtual comedy.
Yes, it's not the same. But
no.
Yes.
It's like you've got a ducking on things, like it's just like you want to release it. Where's the people? We need people. So to all the crowds out there, we love you, and I'm sure you'd be the same. You must miss seeing the fans. So get out to Chandigarh, have a great time, and we'll catch you real soon. Thank you, Harshdeep.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you as always. Bye.
I heard, genuinely, this is just as a fact. I heard that if you hit subscribe to this podcast now, if you have subscribed, on Apple or on Spotify or on JioSaavn or wherever you are listening right now, if you are subscribing and getting that on a regular, which means you get the little notification when the new episode comes out, fact, this is a fact. Don't tell no one else's. If you hit subscribe, you can eat as many jalebis as you want and you will never put on weight. I know. I don't understand the logic. It makes no sense to me. I mean, how's a podcast relate to the DNA way in which your body breaks down jalebi sugar stuff running through your... I don't understand, but what I do know, it's a little cheat to life. So if you like jalebis, then you should hit subscribe to this podcast. Oh, and follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow us, eat jalebis, be happy.